Don McCaffrey, Technical Specialist, Pulses and Oilseeds, New South Wales DPI and Orange.
Don, can you give us an update on where the Beet's Western Yellows virus is up to, please?
Since the first positive identification, which was early July south of Wagga, we've had a number of other paddocks positively identified with the Beet Western Yellows virus, and it's important now that that growers monitor for aphids in general, but particularly the green peach aphid as we move into warmer conditions of spring.
Don, do you think growers should be treating their crops for green peach aphid at this time?
I guess that depends on the level of infection and the infestation of the green peach aphid, and whether there's potential for it to spread the virus. In a lot of cases, it will be difficult to get the insecticide to where the green peach aphid currently is, which is in the lower canopy. So our advice at the moment in those crops that have already been diagnosed as infected crops, there would be no real benefit in putting on insecticide at this point. What growers will have to also monitor is the level of other aphids in crops as we come into spring. What we are somewhat concerned about is we know that there is insecticide resistance in green peach aphid, and we'll be surveying crops again this spring for that.
Don, can you explain how long the symptoms of the virus take to appear in actively growing plants?
It does vary, and it could take up to 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. So you can actually have plants that look outwardly healthy, I suppose, in terms of any sort of typical virus symptoms, which is sort of mottling and sort of purpling of the leaves. They may not actually show those symptoms, but they still may have the virus.
What sort of yield implications can growers expect in this year's canola crops from the virus and from aphids?
The only research work that that we know of has been done in Western Australia some years ago, but it was done on rosette size canola, and there were yield losses from the Beet Western Yellows virus itself up to about 50%. What we don't know is what the level of yield reduction could occur from later infection of the Beet Western Yellows virus. But once the crop is flowering, we're thinking that sort of any sort of infection after that is probably less than 10%.
Don, is there any implications for next year's crop, and can there be any virus carried over in next year's seed?
No, there's definitely no carryover of the virus in seed. The virus is carried in the gut of the green peach aphid, the Beet Western Yellows virus. For next year, I guess forewarned is forearmed after what happened in 2014. There's no guarantee that it's going to happen in 2015, but growers should take certainly all of the management precautions, such as monitoring for aphids and also using insecticide treated seed. And once the residual runs out after that, to be well and truly in their crops to check whether an insecticide is needed for the green peach aphid, if it's there.